Hey, this is the Antisocial Socialite back at it again. Shout out to all of the wonderful new subscribers and returning friends. Welcome. If you are new to the channel, you have not yet subscribed. What are you waiting for, darling? Hit that subscribe button, smash that notification bell. So when I get to running this mouth, baby, you are in the loop. I want to say a big thank you to everyone who's been sharing the content, who's been liking, disliking, commenting, coming through. So I just wanted to do this quick live stream. It's kind of a chop up and chill, ask me anything. Yesterday was, of course, Pick Me Monday. I uploaded a video, but I forgot to include that in the beginning of the video. So this is really just an opportunity for anybody who wants to come through and say something. I'm having a couple of discussions with people online, and I understand that a lot of the times people come through, they watch one video, and then they kind of make an assessment on the entirety of the channel. And the funny thing is this is like one of the only videos on my channel where I don't say a word. I literally have an intro and obviously something in the description box, and apart from that there's nothing else. So people, as per usual, but I don't know how much of that is them just trying to be funny, calling me a man, asking me, am I a woman hater? Why do I bash black women? I mean, it's the usual stuff. And so I'm just curious if anybody is wanting to talk about certain things, because obviously people see the title and then they wonder, like, why would you say certain things? So I've already addressed this conversation a number of times. Okay. At the moment, we're having a discussion about a video that was uploaded about a year ago now. I think it's about 11 months, where a group of black teenagers storm into the house of a woman with her two children. One of the children is like a teenager, similar age to the girls. I think they're probably friends or classmates or whatever. And there's an infant on the bed. So this group of teenagers, they climb through the window. They decide to fight the girl, but the girl doesn't want to fight. And then they end up having a fight with the daughter and the mother. And a lot of people were seriously upset about that, rightly so. I don't blame them. It was a really disgraceful act. And I titled the video, "And Black Women Wonder Why They're Perceived as Masculine." And a lot of people took offense to that, because they were like, why would you make a title like this as if all black women are masculine? And obviously not all black women are masculine, but there is a perception out there that black women are more hands-on, that they're more manly. There was I did a video, I can't remember which one it was, and I was kind of breaking it down again, how when women go into hospital for treatment, they often don't have their complaints taken seriously. And that's partly because they're believed to be able to take more pain than average women. Okay? Women are often given jobs like security guards. And we see this type of discrimination almost against black women, even in the roles that they give black women to play in shows. So you have, the angry black woman, the woman who can't get a man and she's always on her own, the overweight comedian, you have the the mentally ill woman. And a lot of the times people don't realize that the image and the representation is going out before us. So the point of the statement wasn't to say all black women are masculine, because obviously 100% of no group of anybody is the same. Not all black people are the same, not all white people are the same, not all Americans are the same, or British people are the same. This is why I can't stand Jubilee. They have some interesting conversations, but their conversations don't make any sense, because when you ask the question, do all people act the same or think the same? The answer before you even ask the questions is always going to be no. And after we've established everyone is not on the same path or thinks the same way, then what? Like, where do we go from here with this information that hasn't told us anything? It's like, the show irritates me for that reason. But I mean, I get why they ask the questions and they want to have the conversations, and maybe for people to realize that within the group there's all these different dynamics. But I mean, other than that, there isn't really for me any point to the show, because the answer for every show before you even watch it is obviously going to be no. I mean, you've got 10 people, 5 people, 6 people. You're asking 6 people. I mean, 6 people can no way represent the majority of a group of people, unless the entire group is like 20 people. Then maybe you could say 6 is a representative sample. Other than that, I mean, what do you really get from asking 5, 6 people one question, like a series of questions, and you already know the answer? So it's just a pointless thing. But you know, I'm not going to completely rain on their parade. You know, shout out to Chef Orel Young in the building. Dimitri speaks. Pop your channel link in the comment section, because I know you've got your live streams and everything starting. So we had a number of new people joining the crew, as it were. And so I wanted to give people who maybe are watching or able to jump on an opportunity to just ask me some questions live, so that I can just answer them once and for all. I'm looking for a particular video. I hope everyone's having a good week. You know, Black People Time. Yesterday was Pick Me Monday, but I didn't do anything. So it's Pick Me Monday today. It's Groundhog Day. And to illustrate this point, this is a thing I wanted to do a video on anyway, but there's not really much to say. But I just wanted to show this. I don't know if I showed this already. Okay, because this is a show I don't even watch, because I'm not a fan of the actors in the show. But for some reason, it was just on, the TV was on, and hold on, get straight. And somehow this show just appeared, you know. Hey, Lawrence, you're still in Brazil? What? Lawrence is living big life in Brazil, bro. I'm happy for the brother. I hope the weather's good, because I know here the weather's trash. You must be having fun. I'm happy for you. Okay. So this was Chef Oral says, I'm not even sure how I got here, but I got the notification. All is well that ends well. It's well. Oh my goodness. Lawrence is living big life in Brazil. Shout out to him. Okay, cool. That's going to be good. Live stream starting next week. Sorry, Auntie. I guess it didn't like that. I did that. I don't know, because I haven't set it to not accept links. So I don't know why it did that. Okay. So this is what I'm talking about with Black women. All right. Let's see if I can find this thing. I'm running on less than empty. So if I'm talking slower than usual, just bear with me. I'm tired, but I got an hour, so I wanted to do this. I hope I don't get a copyright strike. So this is a show I don't really watch. I don't really like. Okay. But somehow I ended up watching 2.5 Men, right? I was just chilling. The TV was on. This is an episode where, for those who don't know, 2.5 Men is about, anyway, for everybody who's in the chat or who's going to watch this on the restream, Dimitri is in his 20s. He's a Gen Z person. He's actually going to start doing conversations about the issues in the Black community and dating as a young person. So you can see his name right there. I'll leave the comment there so you guys can subscribe to his channel, especially for you guys who are Gen Z, because culture changes about every 10 years. So for people who are Gen Xers, their dating experience is slightly different to people who are Gen Z. And obviously older Gen Xers is a bit different from a younger Gen Xer versus a boomer, somebody who's maybe 50 something plus. Okay, so I'm going to leave that comment there. So 2.5 Men, two brothers, one of them's got a son, they got money, whatever, educated, whatever. Like I said, I can't stand the show because I don't really like Charlie Sheen, if I'm honest. Anyway, they got a housekeeper. She's lazy. I don't think she even does any work. Kind of relate, whatever. But I don't think I forgot to add the sound. So they're trying to find a new housekeeper. And this is what I'm saying to people about this concept of stereotyping, right? Because everyone was like, why do you keep stereotyping Black women? You're a boomer at heart. Oh no, why? I'm joking. And I'm saying stereotyping is a natural part of human existence. People stereotype because they have to quickly make an assessment on who they're dealing with. And they're going to base the way they treat you and the way they perceive you on commonly held stereotypes and things that they've experienced in the past. We're not saying that stereotyping or prejudice and things like that is a good thing or a nice thing, but it's just natural, because if you're in an unfamiliar situation, you just have to make a snap judgment how you're going to respond to that person. Shout out to you, Bronzebird. I was just saying to Dimitri, he's starting his channel soon. He's going to be having discussions with Gen Zs. And for those who are content creators, if you want to drop your link in the chat, if you can, please do. I enjoy gin now, so my golden years are rapidly approaching 34. No, I can't do gin. Gin is not my thing at all. Okay, and this clip perfectly illustrated this. I was only really talking about the Black bit. He better get ready for those your mama Black comments. Them people that doesn't work on me. Those comments don't work on me because I wasn't raised with my mama. I wasn't raised in my community. I wasn't raised around Black people. So I don't have those, with all due respect, no disrespect, those Negro colored glasses. I don't go outside like, all kinfolk is skin folk and all that. Nah. Sorry. There's some people, my Bible tells me that a brother is good, but a friend that's close is better than a brother far away. There are friends that stick closer than family. So that's my personal experience, and I'm sticking with that. Some of the people that have let me down the most are the people that's supposed to be blood. So I don't have that whatever. So let's get into this clip, right? For people who are offended.
Maybe it's Colleen. Colleen?
This thing is.
Oh, for the love of God, just turn it off.
Oh dear.
Okay.
What?
Look at this.
I go picking everyone off.
Okay, I'm sure there's a logical explanation for this. I mean, she's a single woman, probably just trying to protect herself.
So what's this one for?
She has 2 guns?
Fair use.
And what looks like a shank.
Good.
Okay, you get to fire this one.
Did I hear
Alan has something he'd like to tell you.
I think I made a pillow chocolate in my boy's huskies.
Huh? Okay, this is okay. So before we get into it, all right, I'm glad they didn't show the other bit, because before that they had like a white fundamentalist Christian in there, and then obviously they start doing the whole Sheldon's mother, oh, let me just pray to Jesus, with a ton of homophobic slurs in there. And I was like, you guys never fail to throw Christianity under the bus. At every opportunity you get, you make sure you put something derogatory about Christians in there, and you kind of make it into a ha-ha moment. But that's not it. I think, well, maybe it's after this. It shouldn't be, but this is the last one. So what do we see here? We see like a petite, Southeast Asian woman. She comes across very nice, but she's tough. And, instead of doing karate, she's got like 5 different types of weaponry in her bag. I don't know how true that is, but I know yesterday some Asian guys were really giving a black woman some work when she decided to take her behind round the back of the counter. It was literally a 3-on-1 Tekken karate do. The man was chopping her and butting her with the gun and everything. So I don't know if that's a stereotype of Asian women, but they protect themselves, but they're petite. You see the way the woman looked, very soft, very docile, very innocuous. You would think butter wouldn't melt in her mouth, and yet she's got 4 guns and like a freaking knife in her bag. But this was the reason why I took note, because the Christian thing already is me off already, whatever. But I know that's common in Hollywood. They always have to throw the church under the bus. So I don't like the show already, but you got my view. Okay, whatever.
Last housekeeper.
Let's look at how they portray the black woman, shall we?
Sometimes cook for us. Is that something that you're comfortable with?
Sure, what would you like me to cook?
Okay, so she's cool, friendly. He says, I want you to cook. They're like, yes, I think this one could be it.
For breakfast, I like pancakes.
Of course, pancakes.
Jesus.
I'm sorry.
You see an African American woman, and the first thing you think is, ain't your mama gonna whip us up some blackjack?
I should have done this with somebody so they could restrain me from putting my fist through the screen. It's like, I'm not. Let's just keep play the tape.
I need to bring my own bandana, or you gonna supply me with one?
I'm sorry. We're just we really like pancakes, but I suppose waffles are fine.
Waffles.
Chicken and waffles?
You know what? Let's just forget breakfast. I'll just have coffee.
How do you take it?
What?
Tea.
So are you okay with doing laundry?
Yeah. And I suppose you want me to separate the whites from the colors.
But you are aware you're applying for a job as a housekeeper.
Oh, so now I don't know why I'm here.
I'm not sure you do.
What?
Oh, okay. Let's. Everybody just calm down.
Oh, so now I've got to calm down just because I was diagnosed with schizophrenia. Can you believe these fools, Donnie?
Okay, I think we have all the information we need. We'll be in touch.
Great. Let me know if you need any references. Oh, you all have a lovely home. Donnie, come on now.
I think I need to sing a Negro spiritual because come by here, Lord, come by here quick. And it's like this. I'm so happy that the clip is online, that I can find it to show you guys, because I couldn't describe it as good as I can show it. Black women got super mad with me because I did a caption that said, and black women wonder why they're perceived as masculine. But in the mainstream media, You are never the petite, feminine, girly love interest who's just like a ditzy blonde, who's a little bit extra tanned, and your hair's a little bit extra curly. You're never just the regular Claire Huxtable, girl next door that all the boys want. You're always the mad, overweight, deranged, schizophrenic, mentally ill, bipolar, angry black woman. This is a show about comedy. And a lot of the times, I don't even know if I showed this before, black women think people are laughing with you. No, outside of the race, the people are laughing at you. And when we display characteristics like any of these, they immediately have this reference in their mind of a show like this. I told you they're all like that. Black women, they're always like this. I mean, the portrayal is so common, like this caricature, that it doesn't matter how much you cry online. We're not all like that. The mainstream media they work hard to perpetuate this notion that this is what the black woman is like. Overweight, angry, rude, aggressive, ill. So when I'm showing videos of black women on social media, saying or doing certain things, it's not really to say all black women are like this, but our image is bad. And part of it is bad because they make sure it's bad. They make sure that they give you a range of roles you can play, but all those roles are negative. All those roles are like this. You're angry, you can't get a man, you can't keep a man, you're single, you got a good man, but he's broke, or you're promiscuous, or you're overweight, you're nice, you're funny, but you're overweight. How many times are we going to see this trope? And like I said in one of the other videos with Monique about our image, it doesn't matter how many people don't fit that stereotype. Because a lot of the times the people who don't fit the stereotype, they still co-sign it. A lot of us would laugh at this and think this is kind of funny, but it's a subtle disrespect. I can't stand these screenwriters. I mean, it's so corny. It's so corny, but that's what it is. She is bipolar. I mean, she's not really bipolar. She'd be more like borderline because it was way too quick that her mood changed. But you see how 1 minute she's like, after she was completely rude and disrespectful and weird, then she leaves the house with a compliment. How many times have you seen an argument, or you got into an argument with a black woman online, and they're cussing you out? They're telling you about yourself, your mama, your family. The dog doesn't escape. Even the dog got the cussing. Then at the end, oh, God bless you. Oh, well, you have a nice day. I wish you all the best. I mean, are you being funny? Are you trying to be funny? Like, you literally just told me a new one, and now you're telling me about have a nice day. This is how we behave sometimes. We think we can just sweep everything under the rug, and just, if I leave you with a good sentiment at the end of that reaming, it just makes everything okay. Someone said this to me, a black person. She said to me, well, I say this, white people know black people more than black people know themselves, because black people are in denial about the issues that we have, and we cannot confront each other about the issues that we have. She just rang into Kevin Samuel's show. Every night somebody does that's similar like this, radical progressives. You see? Wacky. Peace, man. How you doing? So I'm just going off. We had a number of new subscribers. A lot of ladies came through. Some were not very pleased about the fact that I did a video talking about the stereotype of black women. But you don't need my help. You don't need my help. And you start to notice that black women's stereotype is only complete if she's plus size and have a southern dialect. They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. They do it on purpose. They do it on purpose. They want to make you look bad. They know that if they say or do certain things, they can trigger you. They know that race is a touchy subject for Black people. So when you say something, you always have to be anxious. Are you being perceived as a racist? And some people, they do make things that are not racist, or that, you know, they bring racism or whatever into it. So it's like, oh, as a white person, I can't be free because, you know, I'm too scared to offend the Black people. And, you know, it's like they bring every trope. We know that mental illness is a problem in the Black community. It's to do with the way we're raised. It's to do with, obviously, systemic racism. It's to do with the food. It's to do with the pressure of just living in the West. And we have a huge stigma. There's a huge stigma in the Black community about addressing mental health problems, which causes it to fester even more. A lot of undiagnosed mental health problems are running around because Black people don't believe in getting help, going to therapists, and doing things to actually address it. Even medication, a lot of them probably don't want to take. So I wish we saw most of these nice feminine women on TV. They're never going to show Black women in feminine roles on TV, because the last thing they want is for Black people to come together and actually build something. Because what they sell to Black people helps to keep the system going, because we have a lot of spending power, but we have short-term, non-asset based spending. You know, we make small hat people and people who are not Black rich, so their sons don't sit around all day watching TV and playing computer. Their sons are doing polo, and they're going to France, and they're playing golf, and they're doing internships, and they're doing all kind of extracurricular activity on our money. Our money doesn't benefit our children or the children in our community, but we give all our money to other groups for them to fund a lifestyle so that the wealth gap can get even bigger. They make Black women masculine and sassy, or they make Black women over sexualized. They make sure that these are two roles that they give the Black woman, because they know we're the biggest consumers of TV. So if you are a parent and you haven't got a childminder, or you can't afford a babysitter, when you plonk that child in front of that box, they are feeding that child with all kind of narratives all the time. The images that young people see, it affects them more because they're impressionable. Children are going to want to try what they see. So if you haven't got the money to take your children out, I mean, and to be honest with you, you don't have to have a lot of money. Just have time and like a ball, a bat, a flipping Dollar Tree kite or something. I don't know. Go to the dollar store, pick up a skipping rope, a basketball where you can just shoot some hoops and play five-a-side netball or whatever. Find some kids in the park or whatever to play with. It's better than having that child sitting in front of the TV all day, because they're programming the children with the images that, you know, these young people see, because we want to identify with somebody. So they said, I understand you want to identify with somebody, so I'm going to make sure all the people you have to look to are people who are degenerates. Okay, I'm going to give you a choice, but they're all degenerate choices. And so this clip just irritates me so much. But, you know, the angry Black woman, this is how they want Black women to be perceived all the time. But colorism low-key plays a factor. Notice the feminine Black women is usually mixed and shows and movies. Yeah, that's true. That is true. And there's a lot of race mixing. Even here in the UK, you find a lot of shows, they make sure that the mixed race or the racially ambiguous and the fairer skinned Black women are girly, and they're very much like their white counterparts. But the darker skinned women, I mean, I'm telling you, this crap is universal. Okay, this crap is universal. Because look, we got our own Lonely Love here. Okay, this is a show called Loose Women. Let's see if I can find it. This is a show called Loose Women. Okay. Oh, she didn't make the cut. Boo. And who do we have here? Don't play. Let's see. Can't find you. We used to have a woman on this show called Jamelia, and Jamelia was very outspoken. Jamelia kind of challenged everybody. So I don't know if they kicked her off or she jumped or she was pushed. And this is who they replaced her with. I think there's two women and the two of them look like this. This is the British Lonely Love. But she's a bit more goofy and a little bit less combative. But you notice that the other women, for the most part, are attractive and slender and, well, she's older. They're all older women, but they're at least slender for the most part. A lot of them are married and everything. I don't even know if that woman's got a man, let alone a husband. But this is the British version of like the real, called Loose Women. And I thought to myself, it's so funny that even here in the UK, they make sure that the black woman they get is some plus size woman. Chef says, who's watching TV that these days? Not that many people. But then this is why they're bringing celebrities onto social media. Lawrence says he truly dislikes Housewives. You know, it's my guilty pleasure, but even that I can't be asked to watch because it's getting a bit too repetitive. And now we can have Cardi and Meghan making black women look over-sexualized. And the thing is, it's already got there. When my co-workers mention something they watched on network television, I find myself just nodding and smiling. He didn't say anything. It's almost like the sisterhood would march for bonnets and everything, but the brotherhood won't march for pants sagging. Well, the sisterhood marching for bonnets, I don't even know what to make of that, because I don't understand what you get from saying, yeah, we have the right to go out in bonnets. I just don't understand it. I don't even understand why you would. I don't even understand why that's a conversation. I've always stated that so-called black females should be offended at how they're portrayed in the mainstream media. Ironically, most black women support the stereotypical buffoonery images of themselves. I mean, Tyler Perry, anybody? I mean, Tyler Perry not getting none of my money. I realized he was a man that made money putting men in dresses. I was done with him. I'm like, you're kind of an abomination. Social engineering and poverty-stricken environments are the main factors to the poor mental health of so-called black people. Yeah, this is huge, because we want to promote marriage in the black community, but at the same time, we can't really promote marriage because so many black people are not financially stable. But the root of the issue is always going to be, are black people are black women creating builders? Are black women actually trying to invest in the next generation, even if they're not going to see the benefits of that investment? Like, how can I say, if you sacrifice, but you give the next generation everything they need, the tools to build, you may not necessarily have a big life yourself, but you know you left a legacy for those kids. But because we're told to be consumers, we're socially engineered to spend everything we get, which means the next generation is always starting again from scratch, not even with a mindset of building. I mean, thank God for the internet, because digital parenting is, I need you to prove that you aren't Jessica X. Okay. Good luck with that. Chef Ornell says, young, just because they're from the same country doesn't mean they're the same person. No, I've been told that. I've been asked that like 100 times already. People can have the same opinions. You do realize, right? So black women like, you see, the thing about it is this: just because you can identify with the stereotype doesn't mean to say you have to condone it. There's a lot of things that we accept in the black community as kind of normal, and they're actually dysfunctional behaviors. And the problem with this is you're normalizing dysfunction to the point where you don't even realize. It's like you wouldn't think it's abnormal because everybody kind of does it. And that means that you're trying to get dry while you're still in the midst of the water. It's like, how can I elevate out of this situation when I've got literally nowhere to turn? So the internet is kind of saving lives because it's giving people an opportunity to get with like-minded people who physically are not in their presence. Because the black crab community mindset is so prevalent. You know, shout out to Roxy Beckles. She just did a video. She just did a video talking about Amara La Negra and how she lost a lot of followers because she lost a lot of weight. Okay, and everybody, Lawrence, what do you mean you didn't know it's from the UK? Really? I know I watch a lot of American TV. Wait, are you looking at somebody else? Who's from the UK here? I think, George, are you from the UK? Dimitri, anytime you want to chip in, just let me know. I'm just rambling. Is this channel still hidden? Huh? What channel? I don't know. Where are we? Guess not. That's great. No, I can see you. What's going on in here? A productive mod. Hi, how are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
So yeah, basically what we just saw is they were playing on the radical progressive, which I said before tends to take you for a loop. They want to be portrayed a certain way, and then they get mad that they're portrayed a certain way.
Oh, I see. I don't even know what to say about that, because black people wanting to be accepted for how they live, and this is where black people get tripped up all the time, in my opinion, because it's kind of like the argument about culture. Well, what is black culture? Some people would argue we don't have a culture because we don't have original cultures. And other people will say, well, whatever we have, that is our culture. Now, if you're in the West, a lot of the culture is influenced by what you are told is acceptable. It's what you're told is acceptable by non-black people and what you are kind of made to accept by black people. Because I was listening to something today, anyway, about Amara La Negra. And she was like, a lot of people like me because I was thick. Now I've lost the weight, and she looks stunning. She already was beautiful in the face, but she was just like let me try to find it. But now she's literally kind of come down. I don't even know. I don't know. She lost about 35 pounds allegedly, and she lost loads of subscribers because they're upset with her that now she's slim. That she basically was liked because she was big, and she was kind of like a poster child for you know, the stereotypical big black woman. And the black community has such a crab mentality. It's like we want to hang on to pain and dysfunction, and you know, our whole cultural identity is wrapped up in basically things that promote struggle. And it's hard to kind of break free of that, because the people around you who are supposed to be supporting you, they're the ones who kind of sink you the most. You see? So you can see here, she's come down very slender. And she literally lost subscribers because she wasn't as big as she used to be. Yeah, sure. The link is at the top. I don't know if you can see it because a number of people have commented, it might have gone up. So this is just a chop up and chill. Anybody can come up. But it's just ridiculous. The things that Black people try to stop you from engaging in, with all due respect, Black women complain about a white beauty standard, which is not strictly true because, you know, most people date within their race. So regardless of whether you're white or not, it doesn't really matter, because most people, if you're Asian, you want an Asian for the most part. If you're white, you want a white person. And obviously in the Black community, most Black men are with Black women. So the white beauty standard is not the standard of beauty in the Black community. That's why most Black men are with Black women. So that argument doesn't make sense. But okay, let's say it's true. Black women also have to understand that Black men have to compete on a white business standard. Okay, so yeah, sometimes he's going to have to eat sushi, and he's going to have to try funny colored pants while he plays golf. And yes, he is going to have to talk about wine and sniffing the cork and swizzling it in his mouth and all that garbage. Yes, he's going to do those things because he's trying to get into the industry where he can make that money. But Black people will tell you, oh, you think you're better than us. I literally went out with a friend once. We were working, and we were walking to the building, and people were graduating. They came out in the gown with their family, and yeah, sushi, fresh sushi is really good. And not all sushi is raw either. If you go to the sushi place, you can actually get cooked food, cooked fish, hot meals and everything. So sushi is great. And they came out, so you see 1 or 2, 3 with their family, and they got the square hat on. Out of nowhere, she's just like, oh, those people think they're better than us just because they got a degree. I literally looked at her like, are you well? Like, you don't know what these people went through to get that degree. You don't know how they struggled, how their family suffered to support them, what they could have gone through. Maybe this is the first generation of people in their family to actually get a degree, which is a big deal for them. And the only thing that can come out of your mouth is they think they're better than us. A pure projection of their insecurity, her insecurity. And this is why in the Black community, you have people who are affluent and doing well, constantly being brought down by the people who are not doing well. And this is why we struggle to separate, because we're so desperate to be accepted by other Black people that we want to merge everything together. White people have people in their family that they don't want to claim. And it's not like, you know, so-and-so is dead, but they're living their best life. They find new family amongst their colleagues, their peers, their friends, and they forge a new family unit and a new support system. Black people are forced and guilt tripped by other Black people into always going back for people who don't want to be productive. One of the first videos I did, I think it's like the second, third maybe video on my channel, was like the comeback culture. A lot of the times Black people are guilt tripped by other Black people into kind of ignoring the people who really deserve the input and the benefits of resources and time and energy, so that we can bring up all of these people who don't want to contribute in any positive way to the community. All the time, energy, resources, and conversation is about how can we fix people who maybe don't even want to fix themselves. How do we get these criminals reformed? How do we get these boys off the street? And it's like, and then you've got people who actually have potential who can't even get like a pencil. Kids who actually could be something can't even get a computer or internet access in their home. Dr. Tiesan Johnson said he's doing his online lecturing, and he's got students who are doing the Zoom lectures on their mobile phone while they're at work. How are you supposed to learn and concentrate when you don't have the tools, and you don't even have the ability to fully concentrate because you have to also go earn money for your family or to support yourself because your family's got nothing? And when you have these conversations with Black people, they get upset with you. Oh, you're bougie. Yeah, all right, I'm bougie. And so what? This is what Black people need to start saying to somebody, "You're bougie," it's not my fault you're not. Maybe if more of us were bougie, we'd get somewhere. So if you don't want to be bougie, get out of my bougie ass way. But unfortunately, because we're guilt tripped all the time by other Black people that we need to be worried about the people at the bottom, we can never progress past the bottom. You got the mic, Dimitri. I had to get that off my chest.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, even I have gotten the you act white thing. And they tell me, like, I expect too much.
It's at this point you say, and so what? And I act white, and what? Good. Don't you see white people run the world? And
exactly.
I need some of that. I need some of that money. The same money that they built this thing on. The amount of businesses and family businesses built on slave money. You can barely go into a family business and it wasn't built on some type of slave money. So what if I want to act white? When you get your dollars, don't you see white people on the dollar? You still spend it though. So don't let no Black person guilt trip you to be at the bottom, man. Don't let them guilt trip you. These people are messaging me. I swear to God, they see them online, bro. I don't understand why you're dropping comments in the comment section. Just click the link.
Why don't they come up here? I'm not gonna clown them.
I don't know. They, you know, some of them are not subscribed. They're just commenting, but I don't know. I just said, you know, we got a number of new people who subscribed, so I'm just like, let me give you guys a chance to say what you wanted to say, and some people wanted to actually hear my voice. You know, I don't really get the, you know, you're a pick me or male identified. I just usually get accused of being a man and being white. This person's messaging me, wacky. I don't know. Every time he comes through, I gotta say it like that.
What's going on?
Hey, what's good?
Chilling.
Yeah, we're chilling. This is like, I can go to about another 35, 40 minutes. I have to get out here. It is 5 o'clock. So I know it's like midday for you guys, or about 10.
Yep.
Yeah,
you got it.
It's almost noon. Yeah, it's almost midday for us on the East Coast of the U.S. Yeah.
You see.
But all right. Yeah, first time on the panel. Thank you for having me on. But
you're welcome.
Basically,
I should be thanking you, Wacky, because you're like a veteran in this thing. You get me? So I'm honored that you grace.
Yeah. More than a veteran, a pioneer.
I know.
Yeah.
1.0 and then some.
Yeah. But just want to respond to the part when you was talking about the so-called Black people who are unproductive, guilt tripping the ones who are productive or who have moved up in the world or on the verge of moving up. And we just, when it comes to that, productive so-called Black people or those who have the potential to be something big, we just have to have a certain part of our system in which we have to be cold-hearted towards certain people, and we just have to say fuck them.
Facts.
Because these individuals who guilt trip you from actually moving forward in life, from progressing in life, of course, they suffer from this extreme crabs in the barrel mentality where they see the potential in you, even if you don't see it in yourself. And they're jealous of it because they don't see that same potential or that same light that they see in you. They don't see within themselves. So they're trying to do whatever it takes to destroy any type of light inside other people. And these individuals you cannot have any empathy for, even if that's your mama. You can't have any empathy for. You can't care about them. You have to tell them, fuck them.
French toast them.
Yeah, French toast them. Yeah. Yeah, because these individuals don't have any care for you. They're trying to destroy you. That whole guilt
Right.
trip and shit is just a way for unproductive so-called black people to destroy you. So when it comes to someone that's trying to destroy you, remember they are your enemy, and you cannot have any empathy on your
You can't have
enemy.
any mercy. Yeah.
You have to. It's to a point where people like that, if they were to die in the sidewalk, you walk over their ass and keep it moving.
It's unfortunate,
It's
but it
unfortunate,
is.
but you have to be like that because guess what? If it's the other way around, they'll do the same goddamn thing to you.
They're already trying to ruin you. They're already
Yeah,
trying to ruin you. That's the thing. And
yeah,
you're trying. This is why I get frustrated with pro-blacks. You know, they lost a lot of ground and they lost a lot of respect because they're just oblivious. They don't want to be intellectually honest about the situation. They don't want to talk about the fact that there are some people who literally don't want to see you do better. They don't want to see you. Okay, they don't want to
that,
see you to. They don't want to see you do better. And there's no amount of, because it's kind of like the Kevin Samuel show last night. I don't know if anybody saw it, but the brothers talking about do this and build that and build men. Yeah, we need men to be strong because women are not gonna just voluntarily give up their power. But at the same time, you also have to be willing to leave people behind who aren't trying to build anything. They don't even want to have honest conversation, and you can't go nowhere with those people.
exactly. And a lot of pro-blacks, like you're saying. Oh, first and foremost, I apologize because I'm reading on the bottom where it says no swearing, and I use a few swear words, so I apologize on that. But
It's usually just F ones that begin with F. The S, like, it comes out. I'm,
oh,
I'm not really, I'm not strict, but it is supposed to be like a little bit of a Christian channel, so we're trying to avoid
oh,
the profanity.
okay, no, I'm going. No, I have to
But
respect your
it's
panel
cool,
on
it's
that.
cool. But
Yeah,
I also want people to feel free because it's not about stifling people. Some people, like, as you can hear, I don't talk like I haven't got a dainty voice and I don't really talk very quietly. So there's no point for me to be like, can you tone it down, please? Because I literally get told all the time, why are you shouting? And I'm like, I just talk loud.
right,
So I want
right.
people to be free to express themselves, but it's just try and keep it the language clean. That's it,
Right,
really.
right, right. I won't. I don't feel stifled if if someone says no swearing. So it's not going to stifle me. No way.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's cool.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
but just feel
I
free.
respect.
Yeah.
Yeah. I free. But I respect your panel. I have to respect your panel. It's your panel, your rule. So I have to respect it. So, but going back to what I was saying about the fake pro blacks, I call them the fake pro blacks because there's a lot of phony pro blacks here. It's just like how in the world there are a lot of phony Christians.
Mm-hmm.
On in the world there's a lot of phony pro blacks. You have the the government assistance having pro blacks, in which no
Oh.
disrespect to those who are on government assistance, but these individuals, they'll say so much stuff how the Caucasian man is the devil. Ooh, the Caucasian man is
Mm.
so bad, but they have no ambition to actually leave that Caucasian man's government assistance that's feeding them, which I find to be hypocritical. But those individuals, the phony pro blacks, they are the ones who they want to be taken care of. So they want the productive black males to take care of them,
It's
to
true.
to actually to actually build infrastructures that would benefit them without them doing any work whatsoever. And that is contrary to what pro blacks such as Booker T. Washington, uh,
Mm.
uh, uh, um, Marcus Mosiah Garvey, that is Malcolm X, aka El Haj Malik Shabazz. That is
Mm-hmm.
contrary to what these people was preaching when it speaks about building. Even the honorable Elijah Muhammad, that
Mm.
is contrary to what they were speaking about, because
Mm.
when they speak about the collective of so-called black people coming together and establishing social, political, and economic independence and self-sufficiency, they speaking of everybody within that collective playing their part in sowing the seed, building and reaping the benefits. It's not a small group of these productive brothers got to build for everybody else. Nah, we can't sit down and burden a small group of people to actually help and provide, food, shelter, and what have you for everybody
It's
else.
true.
While everyone else within the collective is not putting any work. That stuff doesn't make any sense.
It's true.
So when people go to productive blacks and say, "What have you done for the community?" These productive blacks should ask them, well, "What have you done?" What have you done?
Or what are you willing to do?
Or what are you willing to do?
A lot of people that, like you said, the handout culture.
Right, the handout culture. That's a very good word to describe these types of people, the handout culture. So so basically what I'm saying to simplify what I'm saying is that these individuals are out to either destroy you or get you to take care of them. And if they cannot, and if you are unwilling to burden yourself to take care of them, then they'll go to plan A and try to destroy you. So these individuals, you cannot have any empathy for them. You have to be cold towards them, and you have to tell them, screw them, and move forward with your life, because these people will pull you back. And I'm speaking from experience. I'm not just sitting there making stuff up. I'm speaking from a perspective of experience, because I have these types of individuals in my family. They're not, I won't say they're pro-black, but they have that deep-seated crabs in the barrel mentality. And I just had to cut off like about 85% of them off from my life. I had to cut them off. Yeah. And when I cut them off, my life got way better.
Facts. That's why I was showing, Diego, this is free speech, free panel. So anybody want to chip in, jump in, I don't have the strength to manage you anyway. so everybody do what you like.
I understand.
Okay. But the scripture says, I think it's Proverbs 18:24, one with many friends may be harmed, but there is a friend that stays closer than a brother. So you sometimes have people around you and they're not necessarily on your side. In the midst of many people, maybe you've got snakes for real, but there are some people that stick closer to you than your own flesh and blood. So you have to be careful. Oh, sorry, it says a man of too many friends. So if you're trying too hard to be friendly, it's like a simp or somebody trying to save everybody, Captain Save a community. I came across a comment and it was saying like, why don't black people take note from the Amish and I don't even think it was the Mormons. And I responded, you can't really compare black people to the Amish. I think going near Amish is a good thing. But the thing about it is this, are black people willing to sacrifice? And the people that she mentioned, they have a code. They have a religious code. They have a cultural code. From what they eat, to how they dress, to how they worship, to even being ostracized from the group. They're able to be controlled within the group because there is a code. Black people don't have a code that functions. We have a code, but it's like no snitching. Okay, if you wear sandals, you have to wear socks, or don't mix your brand. But the codes we have don't lead to productivity. So it's like we need to write a new code. Maybe because this is partly what I was going to do. I was going to say, we need to do a live stream and draw up a cultural code.
Diego.
Can I go ahead?
Yeah, go for it, man. But you got to turn off YouTube in the background.
Yeah.
No, it's off, man. It's off.
Okay, somebody got feedback. Let me mute up.
Go ahead, bro.
Yeah. So I've been studying our people, black people, and I realized that we got a pathological problem when it comes to thinking. You see, as a black person, you need to understand our group way of thinking. It's very wrong. It's actually destructive. Every race of people has a common ground when it comes to thinking. but ours as black folks is very, very destroyed. So I agree with the brother that was speaking previously that it's better for you to disassociate with the community a little bit and actually work on something. You understand? Because if you work with the community, man, you find problems. I believe that our people are very hard to please them. You see, when I say that it's you can actually approach them in a truthful manner. You see, so it leads them to being in a state of illusion. So that's what I have to say.
That's true.
Yeah, and may I say something? Uh, in response to what the brother was saying, I'm not against so-called black people working with the community, but productive black people have to work in the community of like minds. That's basically what I'm saying. So if you're in a community or if you encounter people in the community who don't have a common agenda, a common goal that you have to leave them behind, you know. But outside of that, everything that the brother said, Diogo Mate is on point, or Diogo Mate is on point.
Mm. How do you say your name? Is it Diogo or Diogo?
Diogo,
Diogo. Okay.
it's a Portuguese name.
Yeah. It's like I was thinking if I'm gonna mute. I got to mute somebody. That's it. Yeah. Um, I was thinking we could do a live stream about if we were to draw up a cultural code, what would it be? And I also want to do a live stream drawing up a marriage contract, like literally sitting down and writing out your stipulations, like for the prenup and everything, because I think there's so much distrust in the Black community. We don't trust each other to smile at each other. We don't trust each other to do the right thing. Like you were saying, Wacky, there's a baseline cultural code that you kind of have a good idea what to expect. Like I've seen Jews being attacked, I've seen Muslim people being attacked, and like people just appear out of nowhere to come to the defense. But in the Black community, the only thing we know to do is get a phone out and record it and laugh. And it's like there's no confidence that if you are in a community, the so-called community, that you have any kind of group-based protection. And so we do need a code and kind of like start a hashtag like I'm on code, but not for foolishness. Like I'm on code for the kids or the youth or boys or women or family education. Like we need a code and to make things that are productive the norm in the Black community, because our norms lead to the failures that we're experiencing. Like one of the norms has to be stop stunting on broke people. I'm sorry, if you're broke, your opinion doesn't mean anything. If you can't help me, just be quiet. I don't understand people who go out of their way to impress the broke. I don't understand why you would do it. And that's like me, or I'm not even that bougie. I live a very average life, but I'm just like, why would you bother? Why are you trying to stunt your like Nipsey Hussle? You're trying to make big money, and then you come back to the same people who are not happy for you, only to lose your life. Like, why? And that's that whole, we all have to be one together, whether you're a millionaire or poor on benefits, we all have to be one. Other groups separate because, like, I can't remember, I think it was Kevin or maybe Obsidian. It's like if you have a ship that's sinking, you've got to make that ship lighter. So anything that is non-essential has to go overboard. The Black community is a sinking ship, and some of the things need to just be tossed overboard. And once you've thrown out the clothes and the suitcases and the furniture, now we got to start talking about maybe chucking over some food. And then it's like, okay, let's get some women and children into some lifeboats, and then we can try and save some men. And, maybe the captain has to go down with the ship. But the Black community is like, we got to bring everybody together. And you can't bring everybody together because not everybody wants to come.
Not everybody can fit on the lifeboat.
Not everyone can fit on the lifeboat, and some of them would rather go down with the ship than get in the boat, even when there's space on the boat. You're like, let me help you. No, I'm good. Let's try this. No, I can't. Maybe we should try this. Oh, the white man. Okay, let's go here. Oh, the white supremacy is going to stop us. It's like we have. My English is finished. My English is finished because I'm lost for words now. It's just a dire situation, and it's kind of every man for himself. And when black women see black men leaving the community, it's because they figured out, like, I can't help these people, and I can't go down with these people. So if I have to jump the ship, I'm jumping with or without you and swimming to shore and building a life with or without you. That's why I don't have an issue with men who date out. I don't have an issue with anyone who dates out, actually. If you feel like you're better off out of the community and you find somebody who makes you happy, just go and be happy. But I can't blame people who want to leave the dysfunction behind, because why would you stay in it when you have the potential to go be great? It doesn't make sense. So that was literally the rant. That was the rant, because a lot of people, sorry to cut you, Wacky, a lot of people on social media, they're really upset about this video. So I kind of wanted to go live to give them a chance to come through. But I understand it's midday. Maybe a lot of them are working or they're at school. So they're not here.
But first and foremost, Antisocial, or aka Lady A,
it's less of a mouthful.
It's a very, I've been saying this for years, that so-called black people as a collective need to reestablish a common code of conduct, or a certain moral values that we can all commonly agree with. So I've been stating that for years, because if we're talking about actually improving the conditions of so-called black people, if we're doing that, it needs to start with a common code of conduct, or a system of moral values that we can all get with. So it's a great idea that you came up with, to create a live stream to figure out, okay, what would be a great set of morals or codes of conduct that so-called black people could all fall in line with. That's a great idea, excellent idea. And going to, in response to what you stated about, so-called black males dating interracially and leaving what we call the community, it's like, and other so-called black people being upset at this individual. To me, I used to be that way too. I used to be one of the types of people who were upset at so-called black males or females who dated interracially, until I had to sit down and recognize reality and realize that A, whoever another adult choose to date is none of my damn business. Excuse my language. And B, like you said, I can't blame a so-called black person who wants to leave the dysfunction behind. And not only that, when I look at a person who dates interracially or who marries interracially, I don't see them as leaving an whole entire community. I don't see that. I just see them as looking for happiness. And unfortunately, they can't find happiness when they try to look for people within their own groups, and they found happiness with a person that belongs to another ethnic group. So if you find that happiness, if you find that peace, if you find that person that's going to treat you right, what's wrong with that?
Exactly.
Regardless of color, what's wrong with that? And who am I to sit down and talk bad about somebody who found someone that treats them right, and that other individual just happened to be of another ethnic group or skin color? Who am I to talk bad about that? Who am I? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
We shouldn't do that. So I had to really change my thinking when it came to that perspective, when it came to interracial dating, interracial marriages. I had to change my thinking on that. So I had a little epiphany. But yeah, but like I said, I believe that with most fake pro blacks on social media who who speak bad about interracial dating, it just comes down to them. It's part of their crabs in the barrel like mentality, and also it's mixed with the fact that you have these groups of fake pro blacks who in their narcissistic minds think that they are the dictators of so-called black people. Therefore they think that they have some sort of authority to tell other so-called black people what to do and how to live, which to me is it is far-fetched. But that's all I have to say on that.
Anybody want to comment on that? Shout out to Leah in the building. She said Americans give too much importance to interracial relationships. Brazil is just fine with it. And Brazil is going to be fine with it because a lot of Brazil is actually black. The people in Brazil are melanated. It's just that obviously, again, colorism or white on mainstream media make sure that the image of the Latina is always the fairer skinned, more European looking woman. Now, to Wacky's point, this whole interracial thing is also part of the crab in the barrel, as you said, mindset. It's kind of like the Jedi mind trick to keep everybody at the bottom. Because, okay, you want, first and foremost, it's a straw man when people talk about interracial dating, as Leah said, because the vast majority of black people are actually with black people. But it's like, what's the incentive to stay with black people? Especially for black men, because as we all know, there's never been a everybody needs to chuck in the chat black boys rule. That's the new is it black boys rule? I thought it was black boys rock.
Yes, that's what I'm planning to start after I acquire enough, resources.
Okay, well then let us know what your cash app is and we can start sending you money.
Okay.
I just keep it. I thought it was black boys rock, but it's cool. Whatever. But I was like, so we got to start a hashtag black boys rule because
Lady
black
A,
boys need to rule.
Lady A. Sorry to interrupt, Lady A, but Brown's Bird, yeah, he wants the link. That's I was about to tell you that.
Oh, sorry. I meant to
link.
pin it at the top. I don't know whose link I'm going to pin to the top. Should I put Dimitri's channel, or you said you couldn't spam it? What am I doing? I'm still half asleep, even though it's 5 o'clock. So yeah, this whole thing about staying in the community is a way to force people to continue the cycle of negativity, because you've got women who control the society, but then you've got women who refuse to invest in the next generation at the same time. So they're kind of holding the entire community hostage by just refusing to do their part as women. I'm thinking to do, I don't know if we should do it as a live stream or maybe as a pre-recorded. Should black men just entertain the idea of surrogacy? Because white men have been talking about this in the white manosphere for a while. This idea of white men just Xing out women from the equation and literally just having their kids with a surrogate so they don't have to deal with moms and baby mamas and ex-wives. What do you think about that? Everybody fell silent.
Yeah,
Just me.
I was waiting for someone else to go first, but
Wacky, and then I'll go after you.
All right, thank you. I mean, I've heard brothers speak about this, not too long ago, but to me, ironically, there's a part of me that's against it because I believe that the ideal environment for a child to be raised in is an environment with both a mother and a father present inside of the home. Even though I do understand surrogacy, black males or males in general with surrogacy, I understand it. But I look at it from the perspective of that child and the type of environment that child will grow up in. You know, and I just think that a child growing up in an environment where there's only one parent available, whether it's a mom only available in the house or dad only available in the house, it's like that child is going to grow up and they're going to end up missing that other side, that the energy from that opposite sex that did not grow up in the household with them. Like, for example, a child who grew up in a single mother household, they have that masculine energy that's missing within that household. And what a lot of them tend to do when they get a little older, they go outside in the environment to look for that masculine energy. And a lot of them end up going to the wrong places looking for that masculine energy. They end up in gangs. A lot of sisters end up with pimps or abusive boyfriends and all that, just in the verge of searching for that masculine energy or that daddy. But on the other hand, if you have children growing up in a single father environment, that feminine energy is going to be missing from the home. And a lot of times, even like from, let's say, from the perspective of Black boys who didn't have that feminine energy growing up, once again, they go outside looking for that feminine energy. And what they end up with, they end up searching for, and there's been studies that speak about this, looking for a mother figure in dating older women. And these older women are probably, probably not, not the best of people, and that treat them like shit, that manipulates them. So from that perspective, I'm saying, as far as the future of the and upbringing of the children, I just don't think that is good, although I understand why some males would choose that. But that's all I have to say.
I hear you.
So, Wacky just basically took it away. My thing about surrogacy, I feel like it was already going to be an option. I just feel like, what it seems like in this world starting to become more narcissistic anyway. A lot of people don't talk about this, and this is why they have this rabbit hole of discussions of trying to say the single mother narrative. Just to touch on this real quick, because I'll relate it back to men in a second. Just the fact of the matter, when it comes to single mother, people do not understand that there are women out here who are doing IVFs, in vitro. They don't even want to have a dad or whatever in the picture. What they want to have is they want to have, how do I say it? They want to have the baby themselves. So that means insemination. So going back to men of the idea about what is it, surrogacy? That's right. It's an option they want to use, because I just think that the problem is relationships is basically dead. Marriage is dead. It's too toxic now. So nobody wants to really deal with each other. And then, you have men that may go to the extreme of saying, hey, my new girlfriend is a sex doll, AI doll, and this, that, and the third. So
That's the thing, yeah.
they're trying to replace physical intimacy with mental intimacy. So by having a surrogate and just saying, hey, I had a child with this woman, and blase, blase, blah. Or no, I got the woman to have my child and I'll raise it on my own, or have somebody else raise it with me. That's just what it seems like. My thing about it is I don't really agree with it. I'm more of like a man that believes in just the natural order of things. Natural order of life is man with women. You know what I'm saying? Or relationships in general. Everybody's compatible with everybody. You're not going to go to your parents about certain things when it comes to intimacy, or family members and all this other stuff. You're going to want someone who understands you on that level and wants to deal with you physically, emotionally, sexually, all the needs that comes out of it. Because I was just thinking about a chart, not Pavlov's dog, not Pavlov's theory, some other theory that I studied in college, and the emotional needs to be met, sexual needs, and whatever have you. Basically stuff like that. But just the idea of it. I mean, if that's what they want to do, I would never try to police that. You can do whatever you want. Just understand what you're getting yourself into and live with that decision.
It's true. Dimitri, Diogo?
I think they said everything I wanted to say, man. But I'll let the brother speak.
What I'll say is this: I think Dimitri's doing something. Number one, I love Dulcie. She's like the American version of me. If it wasn't for Jesus, and I could just swear the way sometimes I feel like I want to, I literally would be her, because I'm just like, some of the things just don't make any sense, and there's really no point. This conversation is pointless and baseless. Not this one, but like some of the conversations you hear, especially a lot of women online talking about, oh God, they're draining to think about, let alone to have, all this white supremacy talk and colorism. It's like, okay, you've established that you're too brown. Now what? Oh, there's white people and there's a system. Okay, now what? There's never any progression in the conversation. So yeah, love Dorsey. She cuts through all of that deflection. So I just wanted to put that out there.
With a katana.
Do you know what I mean? Like a double samurai sword. She literally does not care. She's like, first and foremostly, if you've got, if you're weak, if you can't take certain things, if you can't take the cussing, if you hear the clutch pearls, this is not the life for you. So just get out. Like,
right.
Facts.
The reason why I mentioned that is because Love Dorsey, when I think manosphere, she doesn't come to mind, or people who agree with the manosphere, she never came to mind. So my point in stating that was basically, how many people listen to manosphere talking points but don't register it as manosphere?
Exactly. It's just red pill common sense, but she's raw and direct with it because she doesn't have time for the little girl games. She doesn't want to have straw man arguments and conversations for no real reason, and never really getting to the root of the problem. And she's kind of realized that a lot of people say they want certain outcomes, but they don't really want it. They just want to talk about it. They just want to complain about it, but they never want to do anything. And it's like, if you're happy where you're at, just don't talk about it, which is one of the reasons why, the female content creators get such a hard time. Nobody would care about what, the Sinjis of the world would say if they would just be quiet. But you keep talking as though you really give a damn. But when we ask you what you're going to do about it, you say things like white supremacy, then have white men on your channel.
Smoke screen.
Dissing black men.
And this is a contradiction.
Spend the whole of her. The reason why she went on the black man rant is because she was allegedly cussing out white people and they came for her neck. I've literally found videos by white people saying, Cynthia G, you're a racist. And so she had to switch the message up. So she took it on to, instead of bashing white people, bashing black men, even though her sister was married to a white man.
Exactly.
She's got biracial nieces and nephews or something.
Yes, and Lady A, I witnessed all of that. I witnessed when Cynthia G was just a baby on here, and when she was just simply talking about white supremacy, because it was Boyce Watkins who introduced her to the world, Boyce Watkins, and because she used to be on Boyce Watkins show, on Boyce Watkins live streams. And and I remember she was just strictly speaking about white supremacy, this, white supremacy, that, white supremacy, this. And every time when she would talk about it, one thing that struck in my mind is that, okay, how are you going to speak about white supremacy, yet you have that wig on top of your head? It just it just bugged me out. Yeah, and then for real. And I remember, and you know what's so funny is that around that time, there's this other content creator that I'm friends with, another fellow 1.0 brother, and we was hanging out, and he brought up Cynthia G at that time when she was talking white supremacy, and he just brought up that same point. He's like, how the fuck is she gonna talk? Damn, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He said, how are you gonna speak about white supremacy when you got that weave on top of your head? So, and I just remember her account being suspended, she came back and her rhetoric totally changed.
I
And
heard,
going
yeah.
from speaking about white supremacy then to critiquing black males. And I told a lot of black males in the black manosphere around that time, I said, listen, don't respond to her. Don't respond to her because that's what she wants. She wants people in the manosphere to respond to her for so she can get more fame. It's only going to help her out if you keep making videos responding to her. Nobody listened to me. And look at where she's at now.
Yep.
It's true.
I'm gonna say this though. What I started to realize is like, especially when you hold like, I get mad more so at the men, the content creators in the manosphere, than I do the women, because I understand the women is just gonna come through and have attention. I get mad at them more because it's like, you know that she's gonna come on a panel and talk nonsense. So why are you allowing this to take place? And you know, I'm not gonna lie, like I entertained it for a while because I felt like roasting them. It was fun. But now, if I go on a panel now, I just want to ask those general ultimatum questions and watch them bluff. I enjoy seeing people bluff. That's my whole entire prerogative now. My thing about it is because all the complaining that they do, there's like I said before, I said this on Melody's panel. Demetrius was there. I said, and it's the chick Loren. I said to her, I said, no one's holding.
Oh Jesus! Don't even.
Yeah.
Why you gotta go there, bro? Why?
Nah, she deserved it. She deserved it, and I really.
You bring up that
no
name
filter.
now. You take the level to violence now. Why?
Listen. I'm Bronzebird. I put the
Lorraine
talons on your neck.
up the wall.
I put the talons on your neck. I'm Bronzebird. You understand? All right. Phoenix Eagles and Rooks, Ravens. You know what I'm saying? Crows combined.
That's you.
Right?
That's you.
Bronzebird. So I was saying, like, my thing about it is, like I say to them all the time, there's no reason, no one's putting a gun to your head and say, stay with black men. I don't care for IR relationships. You find happiness where you want to. My problem with y'all is y'all come around here complaining and y'all talk about we need to take responsibility or, you know, take accountability. My thing is, why am I taking accountability for a bunch of women or people who think alike like you who don't see a value in me? That's just dumb. So do yourself a favor. If you don't like us, you don't like what we do, you're free to date another man. You're free to date any man of any other nation that'll take care of you, make you happy, make you a sandwich, kiss you in the morning. No one's stopping you. And I said, even if y'all want to go against people like KS and all this other stuff, like y'all more concerned about how he's presenting himself than what the actual message is. So y'all arguing trite ass points to get nowhere. Like you're not proving anything, and y'all be bluffing. So as soon as that get brought up, be like, but y'all could have swirled in peace and did it. I said, well, black men swirled in peace, been swirling in peace. We didn't need to make shows or movies about it proving that, oh yeah, the white woman is better than this, that, and third. On my day-to-days, this is where people have to get to. Number one, we have to get to the basics. Because I can't stand people who want to make a big deal about, oh, you measure a man by his money and what he wears and his externals.
This shouldn't even be a conversation.
That shouldn't even be. You get to the man's mindset first and foremost. You understand? The same thing you get with women, but I'm talking about men. You deal with the externals first. I mean, you deal with the internal workings first, okay? And then after that, you know, you understand what this man's worth is, how he conducts himself. Y'all concerned about the wrong things, and then you're projecting that on every single man you see, so then we're getting an unfair representation. And like I said before about the swirling thing, you don't see black men out here creating all these television shows and movies, sitting up there talking about, oh yeah, the white woman is so great. Like when I go outside, I'm all about energy. You could be a so-called white woman, so-called Asian, so-called black, and this, that, and third. I don't care. It's about energy. And the thing about it is people don't want to get back to the basics of energy. What they want to do is get back to the idea, skin color, he's better than you because of his skin color. That's just stupid. Like, it's childish.
It's true. Anybody want to comment? I was going to say, I did a video called asking black men to overthrow white supremacy is a straw man. It's literally a kamikaze mission because, you know, as a group of men, you know, most groups of men cannot really go against the elite group because you don't have the protection, you don't have the firepower, you don't have the armed forces, all the things that you need to, you know, to tear down white supremacy. The average white man doesn't have it, let alone the ethnic minorities. But you don't hear Asian women or Middle Eastern women or Jewish women or Chinese or whatever, or Latinas talking about throw down white supremacy. They just get on with their life. And you know, okay, you can say a middle class life with a house and a car on the drive isn't the biggest of life and succeeding. But for some people where they've come from, that's an accomplishment. And so if we had more of that, at least it's a positive step. But the black people who complain about interracial dating, a lot of them, they're talking about a small minority, a small percentage, rather than focusing on the ones who actually want to stay and build something good. It's a deflection. The whole thing is to send black men on a mission where they'll be destroyed. Because how can you overthrow as a group, as an ethnic minority group, housing situation, laws, the education system? White supremacy has its hand in every aspect of Western life. So we're not talking about going down the street and just kind of killing a white person. Do you know what I mean? That's not white supremacy. The random white man walking around on the street is not white supremacy, you know, personified. White supremacy, I just learned yesterday that if you and your woman are married and the two of you make similar amount of money, you probably take home less money because you're taxed more as a married couple with two incomes, versus a couple where one person has a proper job, like a job outside of the home, and one person either doesn't work, they work part-time, or they have like their own business. So for example, if you were born and raised in a middle class family and you have some savings, or you're a woman and you work and you have a lot of savings, once you get married, you quit your job. Your household has more money coming in on one income because you're taxed less. That's what I learned yesterday. So sometimes marriage is financially detrimental to working class black people because you start in a negative. You don't have, you know, money left to you. You don't have inheritances. You don't have houses. You have to literally build it from the ground up. You try to enter married life with a ton of debt, and then you and your woman both work, which means you're taxed more. So you're always kind of at a deficit compared to your like white counterparts who come into the game with maybe a house, some school fee paid off, and no debt because daddy's paid it. And then you get a husband and the wife is like, whatever salary you make, honey, we're going to live on that. I'm going to be a stay-at-home wife. And they end up with more cash because they get taxed less. That's what I learned just yesterday. That's white supremacy, because the tax system actually penalizes black couples, because black couples are more likely to have either the woman making more money or as much money as her husband. How are black men supposed to overthrow that? Cynthia G, tell us.
I mean, all races are going through that. Married couples within throughout the racial spectrum are going through that, through the same taxation. Because in America, I don't know about I'm sure the UK. Well, okay, I don't know about the UK. I don't live in the UK, but in America, most females among all racial groups work. You know, so they work. So when it comes to most married couples beyond the racial spectrum, they all are being taxed even more. So it's not just
oh yeah,
black
definitely
working class people, but I get the gist of what you're saying. At the end of the day, you know, Cynthia G is trying to say that so-called black males, we must fight that. But the thing is that it's like this. Okay, females like Cynthia G, they talking about black males must fight white supremacy, yada 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 yada. But at the end of the day, their sisterhood is walking around creating children out of wedlock without a father present inside of the home. Therefore, it's like, how do you expect a collective of black males to be warriors when you're raising them in a home without male influence to teach them how to be warriors.
That's white supremacy.
Exactly.
That's white supremacy.
That's white supremacy with black females voluntarily being used as pawns for white supremacy. You know, and also we have dynamics inside of Black America, and and possibly in Black UK, where these black males are growing up in these single mother households being abused. They're being traumatized by their mothers because a lot of times their mothers probably have anger and bitterness towards the biological father of that son, and that son reminds them of that quote unquote baby dad that they hate so much, so they put their anger on that son. So now they're being raised in households where these men's confidence are being destroyed the moment they come out the womb. They're being physically abused, sometimes sexually abused, mentally tormented, emotionally tormented. So once again, how do you expect to raise warriors when you're abusing the same group of men who are supposed to be the warriors? I mean, when it comes to raising a warrior, you don't raise them by psychologically tormenting them or manipulating them or traumatizing them. You grow up, you raise them a certain way that's going to instill confidence in them, that's going to instill strength inside of them, if you want to do that. But at the end of the day, when it comes to the actual fight to fight white supremacy, I mean, I believe that it's possible, but of course it's not. Of course, I'm not talking about going ahead and grabbing an AK-47 and just finding any Caucasian person and just shooting. No. If so-called black people really want to fight quote unquote white supremacy, we have to do that in places of legislature and actually push to bring policies that's going to benefit so-called black people. But but I don't see people like Cynthia G or these other phony pro-blacks talk about that. They talk about going to war, going to this physical war, when really how is 13%, excuse me, we're talking about black males here, right? That's less than 13% of the American population, and even probably less in UK. That's going
in
to
the States,
fight a
isn't
war.
it only about 7%? Isn't 13% the entire population?
The entire population is considered 13%, and like you said, possibly like 7% is the black male population in the United States. So you expect them to go to war with the United States military?
Exactly. That's a real extreme situation. So if they fail, they're gonna come kick your doors in, right?
But
The
who will
goal is to
provide
have
them
you
with
killed.
the machinery?
The goal is to have you killed. The goal is not to overthrow anything. The goal is to actually have you killed in the process of, or the name of overthrowing white supremacy.
Right, exactly.
Jogo?
Now I want
Yes.
to say, who will provide them with the machinery to fight?
Next question.
That's a good question.
Just falls out the sky, my brother. That's what happens. You just magically pick it up.
You think Call of Duty is just a game?
Yeah.
On the wall is a life pack, and then you walk around the corner and there's a weapons cache.
Yo, Brownsburg.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Brownsburg, you alpha your way through it.
Be all you can be, brother.
You just game your way through it. You game your way through it. You use that good game.
Hopefully, you have the health pack sitting right there with the halo around it. Like
you gotta have game. You gotta have that mouthpiece. Get that mouthpiece, and you could finesse that AK-47 inside your hand.
That's right. That's right.
speech those bullets into existence.
It's all in your energy. I believe in you.
Right.
Mama Oshun has shown us today. When we get
here's a
these
great one.
YouTubians out of the way, Mama Oshun will bless us with AKAs. It's like
brothers and sisters, learn to fight. Brothers and sisters. Those donations for guns, brothers and sisters.
We need guns. Run me my donations.
Brother, that melanin will give you all the weapons you need. That melanin. Speak that melanin into existence, brother. Yeah.
My brother, you gotta not be the YouTubians, my brother. You must understand the melanated gods put you on this earth to fight for the justice and the warriors of your sisters, my brothers and sisters.
You guys are wrong.
It's not what you put out in the universe, it's what you put into the basket. Can I get an amen, my brothers and sisters?
Can I get an amen? How do I use this slot machine? We need this money for guns. And do I pull the trigger? Do I pull the lever? Where do I put the money? Brothers and sisters, I just lost $20. Should I put another 20? What's that, bro?
Brothers and sisters, if you want some weapons, then donate to the FDMG Academy for Black boys.
Son had a whole powwow on Juneteenth, yo. All you see was a whole dashiki clan with like a dashiki clan with people with afros and big beards.
Oh, wow.
Hebrew Israelites down the streets like, that's right. Oh my God.
Oh, watch your mouth, brother.
Oh, Jesus.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Yeah, I'm messing with you.
Yeah.
I get you.
The people,
Oh,
the street corner Hebrews.
Oh, no. Stop it. We need to ask Oshun for some guns, bro.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God. That was funny.
Yeah, I seriously don't think they realized, like, if you heard about the slave rebellions, what happened to most of them, it would be that all over again. They would finish us off, and then they would come kick in the women's doors, and then finish them off.
It's all about pandering.
So it's like, it's an extremist situation, like a scenario, but they don't realize we don't have the numbers to pull something like that off.
Exactly. In Haiti, it was doable because black people did outnumber
a certain thing sometimes. I just get a kick and I start laughing when you see these panels, especially with these brothers. Don't need to mention their names that, have their whole spaces saying, you black men don't do nothing. You be looking at them like, well, my brother, do you even at the most support black businesses in your neighborhood? You understand me? Do you support men's mental health, especially for black men? You've been in organizations, my brother. You leading the fight and the charge, or you talking on a soapbox on YouTube? What you doing? Or you get a kick because you kick brothers off the panel who disagree with you? Okay, brother.
See, okay. Lady A was speaking about in Haiti about the Haitian Revolution.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, I was just saying that in Haiti, black people actually outnumbered white people, and you're on an island. So you kind of can, unless they were going to like bomb the island from a ship, which probably wasn't even possible really at that time.
No,
you actually had to take your time to come one by one onto the island, which meant you could defend Haiti. But if you're in the States, you're vastly outnumbered, or in the UK, you're vastly outnumbered by all kinds of systems. So it's just a ridiculous statement to say overthrow white supremacy.
But may I cut in? Lady A. When it comes to the Haitian Revolution, another factor that a lot of people don't recognize is that a lot of the the Afro Haitians, a lot of the so-called blacks in Haiti that was fighting the revolution, they were former members of the French military, so they were military trained.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it was not. Listen, a lot of the people that was fighting the revolution, but they were not just some regular slaves walking around barefooted with a damn sword and chopping heads off. A lot of them were members of the French military, because prior to the there were two Haitian revolutions, by the way, that a lot of people don't know. The Haitian Revolution that we all know about that ended in 1804 was the second Haitian Revolution. But prior to the second Haitian Revolution, the blacks in Haiti were accepted as French citizens. Therefore, a lot of them were permitted, or no, excuse me, were allowed to enter the French army, and they did. And a lot of these Haitians that entered the French army, they're the ones who supported America when it came to the American Revolution. So when it came to the Haitian Revolution, you're talking about military trained black people that fought the French. It wasn't no ordinary so-called blacks. They were members or former members of the French military. They were military trained. They utilized guerrilla warfare to beat the French. Now, these pro-blacks, fake pro-blacks today, a lot of them are not military trained. So you mean to tell me non-military trained people are going to fight a revolution against extremely military trained individuals? Nah. Come on, man.
And you're not even talking about, they're not even talking about a good amount of these, pro-blackity blacks. They're not even talking about the essentials that need to happen in this country, about how they're noticing, even with Biden, that they're trying to take away the Second Amendment. And the thing about it is, we need to talk about protection, right? So if you talking about fighting, how are we supposed to fight? Fist? You got these what is it? What like so-called white people within the Bible Belt and this, that, and the third. They not playing when it comes to Biden administration talking about the guns in your state and stuff like that. They're not playing because they already know they military minded. They ready for war. A lot of these pro-blackity blacks is just trying to blame white people for existing. After a while, it just starts to get boring. I'm like, dude, you're not talking any real solutions. I give more credit to what is it? Black Guns Lives Matter. There's a sister online right now that talks about the importance of having firearms on you and all that other stuff. That's online right now that has political talks, and she's a teacher in the South. Those are the ones that's really about something. Other these pro-blackity blacks look for all these irrational articles and hoping that white people say something stupid on the internet or say the N-word just so they can say, yeah, we're gonna fight against you. You ain't gonna do a damn thing. You understand? That's why I sit back and you laugh at this stuff, man. You laugh at it because if you really hate white people, you still employed by one. What revolution you trying to do, brother? You understand?
It's true. As people have said in the past, the goal is just to get a handout. Is to keep getting a handout. That's it.
Right.
Keep getting acceptance and validation as if white people are going to just give you what you need because it's a nice thing to do. Why would they?
And sorry, but what you find is a lot of these pro-blackity blacks are white validationists, if that's even a word. They want white validation. So when I come outside and I say I don't care for none of that, like I can go up to a white person to have a conversation and just be cool with them, and this, that, and the third, they see how my heart is. And then when brothers like me think, when Wacky thinks, when Demetrius thinks, when the other brother thinks, I don't know, I forgot your name, brother. Like brothers like us are mainly seen to be the low-hanging fruit. When we don't we don't want to stand for all this nonsense like what you see on your screen right now with Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion doing lesbianic actions on stage. This chick Lizzo out here doing the nonsense that she's doing, yo. Like, y'all
Bonnet gang.
Bonnet gang. Do-rag
Bonnet
gang.
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 Boy.
You know what I mean? You gotta shift the paradigm. You know what I'm saying? And people just not ready to shift the paradigm.
It's true.
Yeah, let me be a little bit critical here.
Well, this is going to be a last round, guys. Everybody's going to say whatever they need to say, and we're going to get up out of here.
Yeah, I'll actually got to drop down because I got to go uptown and stuff like that. But yeah, good speaking.
Do you want to go first, Bronzebird?
Oh, no, I don't really got any words, but I was just saying, it's always a pleasure being with you guys, and, this is all, I would say this is our, like, shindig / powwow, so, at the end of the day, I love what we speak about, so, peace and blessings,
Appreciate you.
All right, peace, Bronzebird, peace.
Peace.
Have a great day, bro. So yeah, let's be critical out here. Let's create a scenario in which every race of people was in a war, and each race had to grab a hold of their creations. Don't you guys think that we as a race will be primitive if you actually realize that? You see, so at this position, at this point where we are right now, we can ensure our own survival. So all these guys saying they want to fight white supremacy, they haven't done a 360-degree scenario to see the situation we're in. You see, we
Mm.
wouldn't we wouldn't even produce uh, things for us to eat in a rate to feed all of us because we will have to use machines that white people created. So
Exactly.
it's all.
Don't even bring it up.
So
Oh
I'm
god.
glad. Oh, is the brother done? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
now the people who are speaking these kind of things, they actually don't know nothing of what they're speaking. And thank you for having me.
Appreciate you, man. Don't be a stranger. Anytime you see the live and you see the link, feel free.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. Yeah.
Black Malaki said black machismo has its origin in matriarchy. It represents compensatory masculinity. Genuine masculine behavior is seen as square in the black community, and that's part of the black crab mindset. You know, we need to really break this down. All of the things that really are black crab talking points that hold people back. Because how can a black man be the most masculine or the most hyper masculine and at the same time the most conquered? That doesn't make any sense until you realize it's like a fake masculinity. It's, oh, you look masculine, but you're kind of like the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain. Once we pull back the curtain, you have no substance, you have no power. And that's not all black men, of course, but you understand, it's like the culture is, let's try to promote the superficial without the substance so that the men have the threat, like, you know, you go out, oh, the scary black man, and or he's got the physique of a man that you would want. But in terms of, you know, like I said here, you know, they're trying to culture us basically to be a sexual group, you know, like Trey Songs and all these black men, they run around sleeping with a lot of women and that's considered masculine. But okay, remove sex from the table, what have you got? These men haven't really got anything to offer the community. And so definitely machismo is feminine in nature because it's fake feminine, and that's pretty much my last contribution. Who's gonna go next?
Yeah. Can I go next if nobody mind? What that brother said, the brother that was speaking before you, Lady A, he said something very deep. He stated that if there would be a revolution and every race of people would have to separate each other, and among that take take and use only their own inventions. He stated that so-called black people would live in a primitive state. And it's funny because speaking about the Haitian Revolution, what a lot of the fake pro-blacks, when they speak about it, what they don't talk about is after the revolution was over, the Haitian people, what they did is that everything that was created or that they got from Europeans, they destroyed. When it came to machines, plowing, plowing machines to help them grow crops, they destroyed it. When it came to any type of things that they got from Europeans, they destroyed because it reminded them of slavery. Not realizing that these are creations that they needed in order to maintain their survival. So all the things that they destroyed that they got from Europeans, what that did, that just caused like a further poverty within the country. So the country was in trouble. So yeah, it led to a lot of starvation in the country, to the point of the fact that the people in the country had to wake up and say, "Oh, hold on, yes, don't get me wrong, we fought our oppressors and we won, but some of the things that they created is actually beneficial for us. So we have to stop destroying it because we do that, we're destroying our own people." So it was
crazy.
Funny. So that other brother, he left, but he put things in the he hit things in the nail. man, it's like you said, Lady A, a lot of these phony pro blacks on social media, they just trying to get, so-called black males to go out there and die, and I'm saying, nah, don't go out there and die for a group of people that really don't care about you. You in this society that we live in right now, you have to be the most productive and the best person that you could be. The best man, the best woman that you could be. You have to be intelligent, the most intelligent person that you could be, the most wisest person that you can be. And if more and more so-called black people do that, then over time you will see a great improvement amongst our people as a collective. But that's all I have to say. So, Lady A, thank you for inviting me on here. It's a pleasure speaking with you. All right. So
you have a good day, man. Thank you.
All right, you too. Shalom. All right.
Peace, bro. Peace. Dimitri.
Yeah, what's up? So, what do you think of Yanni's argument? It's very weak to me.
What Yanni in general, she never really has nothing to say. Let's just keep it about. Don't ask me questions that's gonna incriminate my channel, bro. Come on now, stop. You know I haven't got no filter. They irritate me, these ladies. You see, Dimitri, why? You know that these ladies. You see, why you get me started again, bro? I was just calming down, and you're taking it there. Why?
Well, we could talk about it a different day,
on the next day, is that these ladies frustrate me because at the end of the day they send these women on a false mission. That's why I started the channel as well, because at the end of the day, what you're telling women is not helping them. Ultimately, it's hurting them. And the only person who's really making any money out of this rhetoric is the content creators, because they're telling you victimhood stories so that you can continue feeling sorry for yourself. And it's kind of just like an emotional drug dealer or even a literal drug dealer. They give you free stuff in order to get you hooked, so you keep coming back. But you're going down as they're making money. And these emotional drug dealers, the divestment stroke, swirling stroke, pro-black woman sector, none of them are actually helping these women be better. And rather than have a smaller group of women who are committed to being better, which would be a financial loss for them, they rather go down the route of lying to the women and complaining about the men all the time in order to line their own pocket. And I can't bear them. I don't watch them because very few people can say through this advice I got somewhere good. All it's done is stir up hatred under the guise of concern. Because all that complaining they do, I'm not saying they don't make any valid points, but their points are flawed because they don't talk about the role that women play in the root of the problems. But Yan, and a lot of them, they can't be honest. They can't be honest about the role women play in the problem. They disproportionately.
I understand. Yeah, they can't be honest, but that's the whole one of the reasons why I'm making my channel. It's to give the Gen Z perspective on things, because a lot of them misunderstand. Because I'll give you a base level understanding. Gen Z was sold the idea of unity, but the thing we have in the black community is we are not necessarily whole. Like even the different groups in there, they're still broken. So how could you ever possibly hope to achieve a beautiful vision of unity or something at least close to it if you're broken? And the first step to achieving that is understanding the point of view.
Facts. Is that your final word?
A Gen Z perspective.
So if you guys are catching this on the restream, you see his channel. Where is it? Where is the one I want them to see?
I'll comment real quick.
Yeah, please. So you guys can all go over, subscribe. Bronzebird has his powwow and his channel. Please check him out. I don't know who else came through here who has a channel. I think that was it for the time being. So I really appreciate you coming up, Dimitri. Do you have anything else you want to say before I shut it down? No, he's busy.
So I just posted the comment. So if you still want to do that, there it is in the comment section.
Fantastic. So you guys check out his channel. My laptop's about to die. I've got to run out. I really appreciate everybody who came through. If you are new to the channel and you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Like and subscribe. Share the video with somebody who needs to see it. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.